Everyone, in this video we will try and generate random values over here. So basically what I want is every time a player is sold, I don't want to search for the next player and at the same time I want to randomly generate it. I mean think about it. If you know that Sachin Tendulkar is the next player that will come for the bidding, you'll probably stay ready. But if this is randomized, then it's a lot more fun because it may be that the weakest players come in the beginning. You might not want to spend there. You might want to save your money for Tendulkar or Kohli or Dhoni or whatever your favorite is. So I want to randomize this list of unsold players. This can be done through code very simply. So let me just save it over here. Next random player. Okay, and I want this function to be called every time uh, someone has been sold, which we'll connect later. That is okay. Okay, so this is what I want. The next random player, this value should come over here, and we can basically fetch this directly from this particular cell. Right now it's blank, obviously. All right, let's come to the code. So let a function be pick random player, random unsold player. Right now, after that, once this is sorted, let's set some context. Sheet is and either get sheet by name. You don't want to take a risk. Get sheet by name, and I think it was player list. Yes, player list space. Okay, now we have the context of this particular thing. After that, we want to get all the different players. So what we want is we want a list of all the players. We want a list of, and then we also want to check if all of them are unsold. And so basically, we want a list of all the unsold players. And out of that particular list, we want to randomly pick one particular player. Okay, so first and foremost, let's get a list of all the players and their corresponding statuses. Okay, so var players is equal to, now here's where it gets interesting. Get range. We already know it's in the A column. So A2 to, this is the last one, A2 to A49. A2 to A49 get values. Plural, okay? This time is plural. Similarly, I also want all the statuses because in case they are sold, the players are sold, it's of no use to me. Uh, this will be, I think, column E. Yeah, it's over here. So E2 to E49. Okay, so this basically stores an array of these different values. Alright, that if you want to know what is an array is basically a list of values 2, 8, 12, 40, 39, 60. It's a list of different values. It can be text values, it can be number values. If you do not know this, that is okay. I don't need you to go too much into the depth of this because when you do SQL or when you do Python, you'll anyways be taught this in a lot more detail. And I'm more than happy if you come back and try to do this again. It's perfectly fine. All right. But for now, let's just assume that you understood what an array is. It's a list of different values. Okay. And this is how we represent it. Unsold player is basically an array now. I do not want to teach you looping right now. That will be too complex for you guys. So I'll just copy paste a code block to make it simpler for you guys right now. Okay, but I'll definitely explain you slightly what this basically represents. Let me just add a closing brace. So this basically goes through this entire set. Loop basically means going from one point to the other point, going from one point to the other point, so on and so forth. So over here, this will loop through this entire set of statuses values, and it will search for all the different players who have been unsold. Okay. So this is basically pushing the players that are unsold into this unsold array list. Why are we doing this? Because this way we have a list of all the different unsold players that we want. What I want you to understand is not how we are doing it, but what we are doing. Okay. So this is basically getting a list of all the different unsold players into this array. Okay. This is all that is doing. I don't need you to go into any more details at the moment. Now, once we have this particular list, life is pretty good. Now, all we need to do is randomly pick an unsold player. Okay. So for this, there is no direct way to do it. We need to mathematically generate a random value, and then we can pick a random player. So we have to set a random index is equal to math dot floor, and after that we have to generate a random value. Right. Too much of jargons, too much of complication. I do not want you guys to get too deep into it. But this way we have found. This basically generates a random number, and from that random number, we pick a random player out of this unsold player list. Random index. Okay, perfect. We do get a random player now, and now we can save this. Actually, we can save this into the particular cell range that we have. So I'm forgetting J1. Okay, see this is J1 and set. Set value random player. All right, I think this looks pretty decent. Let's save this and let's run it. Run it. Oh, what is the mistake here? Oops. I think I made a spelling mistake. Yeah, now it looks good. Let's run it again. Unsold players. Okay, here it's player, here it's player. So these are the kind of little mistakes that people do. Just pick a player. Here is one. That's why personally I do not like to copy paste. I like to type each and every code. Where is the mistake? Unsold player. Giving the wrong brackets. Over here. As I said, I'm bound to make some mistakes. It's not a worry as long as I'm executing it correctly. Okay, Ravindra Jadeja is a sold player. Is the next unsold player. So let's say I mark Ravindra Jadeja. Let me randomly mark a list of sold players. Okay. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me make all players sold except Mohammad Siraj. Okay. So technically, if I hit on run, the next value should be Mohammad Siraj. Let's see. Has it updated? Yep, Mohammad Siraj is now sold. Now, one thing that we missed is what happens now if I hit on run? It'll throw an error because it was not able to find any particular unsold player. So for that, let's just do something called exceptional handling, in which we can at least log whenever a player is unsold. Whenever all the players are sold, basically, whenever no players are unsold. So if unsold player dot length is basically equal to 0, that means no player is remaining that is unsold, then just you've already done this log no players left unsold. That's good enough for me at the current moment. Right. Okay, with that I think we are done with the preparation of this particular project. Let's mark all these as unsold. Okay. And similarly, while you're, I think you can again run this. While things keep on getting fetched over here, Gautam Gambhir, it will also get pulled over here along with the base price of Gautam Gambhir. Okay, so this entire functionality is working successfully. In the next particular video, we will be covering on how do you bid and how to set up the bidding function. Okay, see you then.